Hello everybody, this is HD Shaves here. I'm back from the video. I hope this finds you well and in good spirits. Today we have another exciting shave to share with you, and let's first talk about the razor. This razor is on loan from a kind supporter of the channel, so if you're watching, thanks very much. This is the Wolfman Gorilla razor. So I've used this handle before on this channel on a different Wolfman razor, and of course I'm wearing the polo golf shirt today. But this is the actual Gorilla razor in that the head is also Gorilla. I think that design is very cool. This razor was released in spring 2017, and it was originally meant to be sort of a more affordable option from Wolfman. It is known as being a relatively mild shaver, and it definitely has more of a machined type finish than other Wolfman razors. You can see it kind of there in the middle of the base plate, and as most of you know, the finishing on Wolfman razors the finishing is excellent. That's the way to say it. And so even though this was originally intended to be sold as more kind of a raw finish, I've heard that some of this stuff was kind of sanded down, so it wasn't maybe as raw machine looking as it could have been. The handle is interesting in that it's three parts. The threaded part is one, the tube in the center is one, and then the cap on the end is another, press fitted together. It's hollow in the middle, and this entire razor is 316 stainless steel. You don't see these pop up too much on the used market, so if you want one, you kind of have to be ready to snatch it when you see it listed for sale. I've heard that maybe a Gorilla 2 would come out in the future if the opportunity presents itself, but of course no guarantees on that. This is one of the first razors, as far as I know, that had these had the male ends on the bottom of the base plate. So I'm just going to go ahead and load the razor now. This is a Polsilver Super Iridium. You put the blade on the plate like that, and then you grab your top cap, and you just basically do things maybe backwards to how you normally would. Just making sure that the blade is in there properly and it looks good. And then now let's go ahead. There is a little recessed area here by the thread, so I'm not using a washer today like I normally would. And just checking the alignment, and everything looks good. The only, I think, issue you might have with this razor is if you try to load it the normal way, where you put the blade on the top cap. That didn't work out too well for me when I tried to do it, just in terms of aligning the blade. So I do recommend loading as you should from the male ends on the base plate. Okay, very quickly, just want to show you what this brush is. This is a Dogwood Handcrafts custom handle, a little bit of red in there with a 28mm B10 knot from Declaration Grooming. I'm just going to go ahead and get this soaking. The soap for today is a soft soap, so I thought, why not use a soft brush? Again, you don't have to do that, but it was just the mood I was in. Now then, the soap for today is from Officina Artigiana. I'm going to go with that. From Milan, and the name of the scent is Stay Traditional, which I think is kind of funny. Maybe that's sort of a bad translation of something like old school or something like that. But this was sent to me very kindly from the owner of London Razors. London Razors has been on a bit of a hiatus, but they're looking to come back into full swing soon. They did some wonderful work for me on a couple razors recently, and this was kind of a nice surprise gift in with it. So I'll show you what the soap looks like. I took the scoop out here, and it's supposed to look like a flower with those four dots, if you will. Kind of an interesting thing. And the reason why it's those 5 points is that the soap has 5 main oils in argan, jojoba, almond, castor, and grapeseed. So it is a vegetal-based soap, and the ad copy for this thing is kind of crazy, like telling you about all the benefits of this and that and this and that. And this is a 5-ounce jar, and it's glass, I believe. It's got a good heavy weight to it. Honestly, I wouldn't want to hold the brush, hold the tub while I'm working with a brush, but I've scooped it and put it into the trusty Captain's Choice loading bowl here. And the scent on this, it's kind of a sweet, fruity sort of scent, citrus, with a little bit of ozone and musk to kind of balance it out. To me, I get this kind of pleasant orange scent. Very nice, not cloying or anything like that. Let's go ahead and start loading the soap. So I've just been letting the brush soak for just a quick second. With this, not especially because it's so soft, I find that I don't need to let it soak very long. So that's about where we're going to start. This is a very jelly knot, as you might already know. And then let's go ahead and load the soap. I'm going to turn it upside down a little bit. And the thing I always am careful of with these soft Italian soaps is, you know, adding too much water basically, and then it turns into kind of a bubbly mess. Something I thought was interesting, on the side of this jar, it says, "This vegetal formula requires more water than usual to obtain a perfect shave." So I like that challenge that they put in there, that if you're using this, you need to add more water than usual. So that's kind of funny. Lather is starting to fly, and looks like we are going to get a little bit of bubbles here at the start, and let's see if we can kind of get those to calm. I mean, we're really flying here. This is sort of what it's looking like so far. I am not the biggest fan of these soft Italian soaps in terms of their performance. Some of them have some really nice scents, like, you know, from companies like Abate La Mantia. They've got some really nice scents, and this one's really nice too, especially on this warm day we're having here in the city. But in terms of the performance, I'm not always the biggest fan, so we'll see how this one treats me. But, you know, it's got those 5 oils, so maybe that's going to be the secret to getting a perfect shave, as they say. Putting a little water on the face, and then now let's start our face lather. As I mentioned, it's been really warm here the past, well, today's like the 3rd day. We got up to maybe 85 2 days ago. It was in the 90s yesterday. It was like 92, 93 here in the city. And then today, I think it's already about 85 out there. And then it's gonna cool down a little bit, and then we'll get back to a little bit more mild temperatures as we go into the weekend. I think it was just last week that it was like 45 and rainy, and people were getting really upset that we haven't, you know, really had much of a mild spring yet. It's been on the colder side, and then we get this summer weather. So I think the message is here is be careful what you wish for. And 90, going over 90 here is really uncommon. I remember it was last summer or the summer before, I kept track, and we only went over 90, I don't know, 5 times in a summer, something like that. So we're really, some people are not big fans of that temperature here. And I feel like I did my time with those kinds of temperatures living a combined, I don't know, 12 or 13 years of my life between Florida and Texas. I've seen my fair share of heat. So I'm going to keep working this face lather, and I'll bring it back in when I'm about to start my first pass with the Gorilla. Okay, we're back, and I think we're certainly going to have enough lather to do the job here. I was really thinking, I was worried it was just going to get foamy and not really come together, but it looks pretty good. It's got some bubbles to it, but I think it'll be fine. Here's the Wolfman Gorilla first pass with a Polsilver blade. And with this razor, I find I start with it pretty much straight up and down like this, and I just tilt slightly. And that's the angle right there. So although it is relatively mild, I don't think the angle is difficult to find at all. As some razors can be sort of frustratingly mild, especially when you're first getting to know it. But this razor head has been pretty terrific for me from the get-go. And unfortunately that means I am going to have to keep an eye out for one in the future, because I do think it shaves quite well. I'm not quite sure what the difference is in the geometry between this and the WR1 and WR2s. But if I had to guess, I would think this gap is somewhere in the 0.6, 0.7 range, millimeters, of course. And to me, the feel kind of feels like a Game Changer 0.84, but a little bit less blade forward than that. I like the way that razor shaves, and I think this one is even milder, and so I would probably prefer this one for daily shaving over the Game Changer. Was thinking of something to say, and then it escaped my mind. This razor handle is interesting because it's totally hollow there on the inside. It's got good grip, despite not having any kind of pronounced knurling. But yeah, that's the handle. Okay, good first pass. I'll rinse and come back in for pass number 2 in just a moment. Here's pass number 2. Here's pass number 2 across the grain mostly with the Gorilla. And I must say, it's been really nice to use just a comfortable, easy, effective kind of razor this week. Been doing some WEC hair shaper, sexto blade shaves, and also even did a rolls shave this week. And so it's nice just to use something that's easy to figure out, you know. That being said, I'm probably back to the WEC this coming week. I picked up a couple. Well, I picked up one slightly different model sexto blade, and then another one was kindly sent to me just kind of by chance. So I'm gonna probably work through those next. Geez, I already did my weather bit before the first pass, so now my inner Midwesterner doesn't know what else to talk about. The soap so far has been about as I expected. I mean, I certainly loaded enough. And felt like I added a good amount of water. And the performance seems good enough. Just fine, basically. Okay, second pass done, rinse, and come back for the final third pass. Just a second. Third and final pass. Okay, here's the third pass against the grain with the Gorilla. I'll pose the question to you all. What are your favorite Italian soft soaps? I do think it's cool and notable that, you know, they have their own sort of genre of soaps that they've been making for a long time. I guess you could compare it to the artisan sort of crope scene that we have going here. Which are typically not as soft as a soap like this, but could be. And then it's not as, you know, it's not a hard puck like some of the commercial offerings might be. This is definitely a nice soft Italian soap that I've used. I put it up near the top. There are some scents from Abate y La Mantia that are a little bit more complex. I would maybe like more, but I've just never really been able to figure out that soap base. Always just kind of a little finicky. But I know there are a lot of people out there that really like it. And you better like it for the price. I think this soap here, you can get somewhere like $25 from some US vendors. It's definitely not a brand you'll find at every vendor, so you do have to kind of look around. Like, for example, I know Maggard sells their brand, but the specific stay traditional scent is out of stock. So maybe it was a big seller for them. They sold out quickly. Who knows? If I remember, I'll try to put a link to a vendor in the US that sells the soap. Presume it would be easier to find in Europe than here. Post-shave skin feel is okay. Not as dry, again, as some other Italian soft soaps I've used, so that's a plus. Good shave though. I'm going to rinse and come back and talk to you over post-shave in just a moment. For post-shave today, let's use House of Mammoth Sonder, which I just can't get enough of in these warm months. And I'm very much looking forward to this returning as the summer seasonal, or one of their summer seasonals, so I can pick up a decant of the fragrance. Woo! Not a big alcohol hit, and I believe this is the magic splash that they call, between House of Mammoth and also Chicago Grooming Company. It's got a little bit of synthetic cooling in it, which I can feel starting to come on now. It's not too intense or anything, but it's very nice. And this is kind of a creamy, sandalwood, citrusy kind of scent that I think pairs very nicely with the soap. So that's Sonder. Let's do a quick recap of everything we used. We used the Wolfman Gorilla. Thank you very much to the person who entrusted me with this razor this week. I'm going to clean it up and get it sent on to the next person in the pass around soon. Again, very nice, mild shaver. I think if you're like me in your mild razor preferences, I think you would like that one. Very easy to use and plenty efficient as well. We use Officina Artigiana, stayed traditional. Love the name. It's got some nice branding to it. You know, I don't think in terms of a soap it offers much that you couldn't find here. But if you like the glass jar, you like the 5 petals of the flower to symbolize the 5 oils that are primarily in the soap. If you like all that stuff, maybe it's worth taking a flyer on it. Finally, the Dogwood Handcraft custom handle with a decoration grouping B10 knot. So thank you all so much if you made it this far. As always, appreciate the support. We're closely approaching 600 subscribers, which is fantastic. And let's keep heading in the upward direction, as I always say. So for now, this has been HD Shaves. Take care. We'll see you again next time. Goodbye.